What do engineers do? I like this question, or ask this kind of rhetorical question to get you to think, because this is something you can share with your students as a theme for the year. Robotics isn't just about engineering, but a lot of things you think about is engineering. What I like about engineering is multifaceted. There is mechanical engineering, which is building. There's electrical engineering, which is the sensors. There's computer programming, which is a form of engineering, computer hardware, software, which is the coding. But if I ask right now, what do engineers do? Let's think of the things that engineers make or create. What do? Engineers do what?
Set up bridges or...
Bridges. Civil engineers make bridges and roads. Yep. What do engineers do?
Electrical work.
Electrical work. Yep. The wiring and circuitry and phones. Yeah. What do you got? Like buildings. Yep. Airplanes, roofs, chemicals. I mean, they do so many different things. And there's so many different fields within engineering. But the theme that I usually say, or the answer that I usually say, is engineers solve problems. So it doesn't matter what kind of engineer it is, engineers solve problems. Using STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, but they solve problems. And the reason why I think this is useful is because these robots, they're robust. I like these robots. They're more solid and secure than Legos. So I can drop this and it's pretty solid. But if I drop this from up here, which I won't do, but your kids' wheels trip, fall, and they're going to break, whatever, kids are going to come to you and say, Mr. Jones, Miss Jones, I broke this. Can you guys fix this for me? No. That's your robot. I'm not touching that. And in fact, I say teachers, you put your hands behind your back in practice. You don't touch the robots. You don't pick up parts off the ground. You tell the kids, hey, there's a part on the ground. You need to get it. They see you picking it up. It's just like cleaning up in your classroom. And you say you doing it, they'll know, oh, I can just leave crap on the ground and my mom or my teacher will pick it up after me. So it's the same concept in robotics. You don't need to be touching these. You don't need to know things. You can play. I play the card a lot of times, like when kids ask me questions, I don't know the answer. I'm going to say, I don't know. Why don't you look that up? They're going to say, oh, how do I program this? I don't know. How do you program this? I mean, like, they need to start finding these answers out. And you can play that. I mean, and I'll tell you, you don't always need to know the answer. And as teachers, sometimes we always feel like we need to know the answer. And sometimes it's hard to like give up and suck up that pride to be like, I don't actually know what the heck I'm talking about. Like, I don't know how to program. I'll tell you right now, I don't know how to code in Java. But our robot, for the 10 years that I competed, was all JavaScript. Or it was all Java. My kids would ask me questions about like, hey, can you look at this code? And I'd be like, I could take a look, but I don't really know much. And I just kind of look at it and I'd be like, I don't know, you're going to have to ask someone else. And I'd be like, I don't know Java. Good news is your robots are here. And I didn't need to know. It's not my job or responsibility. What I would do is provide resources. Did you look it up on Google? Did you Google this? Did you ask other teams? Did you ask any of the mentors? Did you reach out to a programmer or coder? Like, these are things that they can do. There's so many resources on how to do this. You can YouTube right now, VexIQ Ringmaster. You hit enter, and there's already so many robots playing this year's game that they can get ideas from. Or how to program my robot, VexIQ. There's already tutorials out there on how to program these, like step by step. There's little YouTuber, young kids. I saw a kid, his name's like Mechanical Mike or something. He like gave himself a name and own YouTube page. And this kid is like in his bedroom showing people how to build different drivetrains for these VexIQ robots. I mean, there's resources out there. So what engineers do, they solve problems. At a competition, a robot's gonna break, it's not gonna do well. Your kids are going to come up to you, they're going to be upset, disappointed. You just say, hey, let's engineer a solution. Let's go back to the pits, and let's be an engineer, and let's engineer a solution. So that's kind of a theme you can use. Throw it back at them when they get stumped. I like the circle wheel because robotics, and I've already been talking about it, robotics not just about building that robot. It's about all these things. And most importantly, it's about critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication, and real-world problems. The best teams, in my opinion, are the ones that can communicate effectively together and be a team. Not arguing, not bickering, not fighting. If you have 10 kids on your team, you're going to have 10 ideas on how to build this robot, but you only have one robot. That's going to be hard, especially for elementary kids, because they all like to have it their way. And some are going to be too shy and quiet to voice their opinions. Some are going to be the loud, bossy ones that are going to push their opinions. It's your job as a facilitator, as a coach, to manage that part of it. But not necessarily what the design is. You want the kids to come up with that design. You just need to make sure that Sally, when she speaks, Johnny's not being a jerk. And that Sally's voice can be heard. And I say that in all seriousness because a lot of girls, I really hope you can get more girls on your team. A lot of girls have great ideas, but they're shadowed by the jerky boys. Not that girls aren't jerks sometimes, but sometimes the boys just feel like they're boys, they build, and girls don't know anything. So make sure that you're letting all the students have an opinion.